What do they want, these fake students, fake bots? What do they get? Is it the financial aid dollars?
Good question. We still haven't defined specifically what they want. We anticipate that what they want is a number of things. One is, sure, they want to tap into financial aid, into the Pell Grants. That's no doubt, I think, a motivation. Another motivation is to basically tap into the information of that student. Maybe get access to the Social Security number. Maybe get access to the information that they could use for any other type of criminal activity. So we don't know specifically what they want, but we do know that they obviously want information, and possibly if they can tap into the Pell Grants, they could, they want those dollars that are there. So that's why I think, what you have is you have the feds involved, the federal government involved, you have the state government involved. They are concerned because it's a big issue throughout the whole country. The problem, though, is because we don't know exactly who is doing this, we're not seeing real action yet from the federal government, from the Department of Justice or the state attorney general's office, them pursuing anything legal, because I don't think they found who they want to go after. Our understanding is they don't even live in this country. They could be working from other countries around the world. So how do you pursue them? How do you go after them?
I actually attended community college for a couple of years. And when I attended for the tuition, you had to pay a small amount when you're from the state. Do these fake students pay for the classes?
So when the COVID situation happened, we had opportunity to be able to suspend that tuition aspect of it. And so we've been able to roll that in slowly. And then as that also started to take shape, we also started to bring in programs like College Promise, which actually then covered the tuition for the students, et cetera. So between a number of those different factors, all of the systems for that tuition payment haven't all been put into play. At least for us, we have not fully put that into play. And as a result, we need to close that door. And so the plan right now is to close that door completely starting in the spring of 2026. And so because our students over this time period have been accustomed to not having to be chased down for the payment. So majority of our students pay. So let me not make people, alarmed in the sense that our students are not paying. Our students are paying. There are some that do have a hardship, et cetera, down the line, and they're putting in reasons for why they can't, et cetera, all of those different pieces. So there is a broad base of reasons why students may not pay right by that due date. So when that is happening, we do start to drop the individuals. And what we're trying to do is to make sure that they are real students, and if they have real issues that we need to help mitigate to ensure that they continue with their education, or if they're fraudulent, then yes, of course, we close that door and slam it shut as hard as we possibly can. So it's been that balance, over since COVID times. And so I do think that we have to get stronger in that arena, but that comes with pros and cons, right? And what I mean by stronger...
Because it would cut off the students that might be struggling.
Exactly.
Now, how do they register? Do they come with a fake ID, fake identification, fake name, fake information, and they just get into the system and register?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that's exactly what they do. But they have made it so real that our technology has not been able to pick it up. So we had to be very smart about it. We had to develop certain types of methods to be able to really investigate it and begin to see, is it real or not? I was going to say that, but also what's made this situation of fraudulent enrollment so different than anything that I've seen before in my 36 years in higher ed is that it's happened on a massive scale. Sometimes it happens on one campus, right? Remember, there's 116 colleges in the state of California. So if it happened on one campus too, it's not a big deal, but it's happened in almost 80% now of the campuses. That means, 90%, 90 colleges at least have these issues and these situations. However, what usually happens is that it's usually one or two, three campuses who take the lead in identifying that technology that will help them. So no doubt Dr. Kim, she took action early. Some will say she took a chance I don't think so, because the numbers were so high. As she mentioned, the number of enrollments were 20% plus. So she had to take drastic action and to a certain degree take a chance and take a risk. But that risk has paid off, because now it started with 3 or 4 colleges. Now you have 83 colleges who are using this technology. But it just goes to tell you the how big this problem is. And that's what's made it so different. And it's happened so quickly. We're talking about over a span of 12 to 18 months, or maybe even less. So that, we're a big state and we're a big higher education system. We don't react quickly. And in many ways, we're easy prey for these kind of situations. But we are reacting, and now you have, 80 plus colleges of 116 who are beginning to utilize this technology. But just one last thing, we know that this technology, we'll need to keep updating it and making it better and making it stronger. You can't rest on your laurels, because people out there, the fraudulent, actors are really good at this stuff, and they're really good at technology. So it's going to be part of our everyday lives now. We're going to have to improve this technology all the time.
What was it like to take action for you?
Relief. At that point, the faculty were they were so distraught, right? Because what was happening was that their class sizes were just eroding in front of their eyes. They thought that they were going to have classes of 20 plus, 30 plus, 50 plus students, and it would dwindle down to, the teens, in some cases single digits. So it was really, really devastating for them. And it was devastating for the students who couldn't get into those classes, right?
So meanwhile, you have
this,
some students that couldn't get in, but then the fake ones that will be in the class that would have to get kicked off.
Yeah. And so then the faculty members are looking at their classes and their whole, they teach because they love teaching, right? They love their discipline and they're doing that work, and that's their craft. And they're not really able to do that for the audience that they were going to be able to do previously. And so there's that piece of it. There's an emotionality to it. But the other part of it was that, for everybody, it was relief to be able to put something in place, something that was going to help us catch these individuals, the bad actors that were causing this level of chaos within our entire system. And again, what it really came down to for us was that real students were being hurt by this. Real students were not able to get their courses. They were not able to get the classes that they needed to graduate. They weren't getting the classes that they needed for their degrees and to continue to matriculate. And that was devastating for us, for the counselors especially, as they watched the crestfallen faces of our students. Like literally, we heard story after story on that. And the students were upset, and they were concerned.